So last week I released a video on my 1 year natural is a keyword, gym transformation. A few people in the comments were asking about my diet and how I fueled my body during this period. And I'm going to say something very controversial. It's not even very controversial. I didn't take protein powder. It was literally just food. Like, there was no supplementation. I'm not trying to damage supplementation. I'm not trying to say supplementation is bad, like it's good. But supplementation is exactly that. It's supplementation. It's not supposed to replace anything. It's just supposed to fill in certain gaps. So because I saw supplementation as exactly that, I'm lying. At the time I just didn't have the money. I didn't have the money to buy protein powder. So I just took it as an opportunity to optimize my diet as best as I possibly could. So the very first thing is I didn't take any protein powder, no creatine. Like, I'm not even bashing. These things are good things, but I just didn't take them because I didn't have the resources, and I found that I actually didn't need it. I got to a stage where I was having 200 grams of protein just from my diet and the way I structured my diet, which I'm going to get into. It's not going to be like giving you my exact diet, because my exact diet won't work for most people, because it's like my body, it's the way my body functions. So your diet, your optimal diet, will be different to mine. So when it comes to diet, I like to think of a phrase: you are what you eat. So the quality of the food you eat is gonna determine your quality. Let's say you had a car and you put in like stupid fuel. Like, let's say you had a diesel car and you put in petrol in it. The engine would die. It would surely die. Well, I don't know if it would die. I know if you put diesel on a petrol engine, yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one. So treat your body like a machine. What you put into it will determine what you get out of it. So you have to make sure that you're eating the best foods. So this now takes me on to the first point of this video, which is the general section and like things, the basics that you have to cover before you even look into optimizing things like testosterone and other stuff like that. So now the very first thing about the basics is eat the right foods. And I'm not even going to try to say you have to eat sodium chlorosulfonate or whatever, like the exact food, but just eat the right foods. What I mean by eating the right foods is eat whole foods. Nowadays we eat too many processed foods. Most of our diet is made up of processed foods. You have cheese that was You have cheese that was like genetically modified in some factory in Siberia or some random place, and you eat that. You have foods that's been packaged and it's been filled with preservatives, all these chemicals, so that it stays eatable or consumable for 3 years. Like, that isn't normal. Food shouldn't be consumable for 3 years. It should rot. It should degrade, whatever. TJ! So what you want to do is to fill your diet with whole foods as opposed to processed foods. Processed foods aren't good. Like, they'll never be good. There are a few processed foods that if you eat them, you can get away with them. But then for the majority of them, like, you shouldn't be touching them. Like, you should stay far away from them. So prioritize whole foods. By whole foods, I mean like one ingredient foods. So whenever you look at the back of like an ingredient thing and you see like 10,000 different things, or you see like 10 ingredients. If it's not a sauce, right? Because sometimes sauces, they'll have like parsley, they'll have black pepper, they'll have garlic cloves, stuff like that. They'll have like many things. But if it's like just food and you see like 10 ingredients, 12 ingredients, you probably shouldn't get it. Whole foods are just single ingredient things. So it would just be potatoes, white rice, beef, macadamia nuts. Like, those are the examples. Broccoli, asparagus, stuff like that. So fill your diet with whole foods. And another rule that I made for myself is that if I'm looking at something, let's say I follow it 99% of the time. If I'm looking at something, right, and I'm looking at the ingredients, whenever I buy food, I always look at the ingredients so that I know what's going into my body, and I suggest you do the same. So whenever I'm just looking at the food, we're looking at the ingredients, if I see too many things that I don't know the name of, and too many things that sound like they should be in a chemistry textbook instead of on an ingredient list, I just won't buy it. So if you start seeing like sodium benzoyate, or I don't even know if that's a thing, but if you start seeing something random like sodium pyroxate or whatever, then you probably shouldn't get it, and it's just an indicator that it's processed food and the chemicals going into your body aren't optimal. You literally can't go wrong on whole foods. Just focus on whole foods. And once you have whole foods down, we're going to go on to caloric intake. And people will be like, oh, you should have said caloric intake first, because that's the first basic to gaining muscle. And you know what? That's what everyone says. But what I found with myself is that I could eat slightly less than I needed to maintain my weight while I was eating whole foods and still gain muscle. was very weird. I didn't know what was going on. I thought my body was just weird, but it was very weird. Whereas when I ate processed foods, it's like it just went straight through me sometimes. And I had to eat a lot more to gain weight. I don't know what it is, but it's like if you're fueling your body with the highest quality of foods, like whole foods. It doesn't have to be from like the most expensive grocery store, but whole foods like just rice, potatoes, beef, chicken, pork, all of those things. Surely you'd expect your body to react better to those better foods. Now that you have the whole foods down, you want to make sure that you're getting enough calories. And I don't know how many calories you need. I needed about, I started off at 2,700 and now I need about 3,100 to gain weight. I don't know how people eat 5,000 calories, but I guess their bodies are like literally. TJ! I guess their bodies are just machines. Food guzzling machines. So now that we have the general stuff down, like the basics, this is the foundation, whole foods and calorie intake. That is a foundation. Now we go into things that can boost our progress. And the very first thing is something that you'll probably expect me to say at the beginning, and that is testosterone. The testosterone is pivotal for male health and male muscle growth. It's probably the most important hormone that a male has. Generally, the higher your testosterone levels, the more muscle you'll be able to gain because your body will be in more of an anabolic state. So now that you have the whole foods down, you have the calorie intake, now you want to optimize your testosterone. The way I optimize my testosterone is by just, it sounds too simple. I'll just search which foods are high in testosterone and eat those. I'll search which foods damage testosterone or reduce testosterone and I'll stop eating them. And the amazing thing with the whole foods section is that most of the foods that reduce your testosterone aren't whole foods. They're like highly processed. They're things like vegetable oils. They're things like sweets that have like thousands of chemicals. They reduce your testosterone. So once you cut out most processed foods, you cut out 99% of the things that do reduce your testosterone. And the biggest piece of advice I can give you is cut out seed oils, vegetable oils. Those are the worst things. Those are essentially cancer in a bottle. Like, just cut them out. Stop eating them. You'll be fine without them. You can cook with butter. Because butter, where I'm from, butter is like quite cheap. Like, I can cook using butter. I don't know how expensive butter is in your area, but where I'm from, butter is quite cheap. Onto the food and testosterone part. You want to eat foods that increase your testosterone. And if I were to tell you all the foods that increase your testosterone, I'd be speaking for 25 minutes. So, off the top of my head, the things that I can say are eggs, meat, not fatty cuts of meat, but meats that have like a bit of fat to them, because cholesterol is pivotal to testosterone production. Cheese, dairy is very good for testosterone. Where like most people say, dairy is bad, whatever, but it actually is very good for testosterone. But it has to be like the proper dairy. It has to be like raw milk. It can't be like 2% low fat, not that stupid stuff. In general, right? You will be able to do it. It will take not even 5 minutes, it will take 30 seconds. If you're planning on eating something, just survey the ingredients that you have in your house. And let's say you see like chickpeas. I don't know for a fact, but I think chickpeas actually reduce testosterone. But anyways, just look if you're about to have a meal or you're planning your groceries and you're like, I want to buy kidney beans. Kidney beans are actually very good. I have kidney beans every day. But you just look, you search on the internet, kidney beans, testosterone. And then you'll now see all the studies on kidney beans and their effects on your testosterone levels. And you'll be able to make an informed decision as to whether you want to include them in your diet. And that takes me on to another point, is that you have to be intentional with everything you eat. You have to know what is going into your body. You have to know the effects it's going to have on your body so that you can truly be accountable for the progress you make and for how well fueled your body is. And now the last thing on testosterone boosting is your lifestyle protocols. So this is away from diet. I know this is a video on diet, but I have to talk about other things in boosting your testosterone. So the very first thing in boosting your testosterone, besides your diet, is getting enough sunlight. Vitamin D, I don't know how, I don't know why, but it's pivotal for testosterone production. I am not a scientist. I just know things that lead to higher testosterone. So if you want to know more in depth, you can probably search Andrew Huberman. He has a podcast on testosterone where he explains all of this. By more sunlight, I mean 30 minutes to an hour every day. And then the obvious one is get enough sleep. Get enough sleep, you fuel your body. Everyone knows that. You sleep more testosterone, more energy, Therefore, you can put in more effort to the gym, better gains. So now I'm gonna go a bit into like my diets. Like you can try copy and paste it, like I don't really mind. It works well for me. Maybe it'll work well for you, so I'm just gonna go into it to give you an example. And I'm gonna tell you exactly what I eat for every meal. I probably won't show videos. Maybe I will. Probably won't. So I recently made a change. I normally eat 4 meals. I switched to 3 because like I was eating 4 meals was taking way too much time for me. Like switching to 3 liberated another hour of my day, which is insane. But anyways, for breakfast, which I normally eat around 11, 12, I call it breakfast because it's the first meal of the day. It's just, yeah. So for breakfast, I have 4 eggs. And I normally have those 4 eggs with beef liver or beef kidney, which people are like, oh, why would you eat organ meats? Like, I promise you, organ meats are amazing. And they're cheap. And they're probably the best source of vitamins, like from the meats that you eat. So I'll have eggs, 4 eggs. So it's 4 eggs with beef liver or beef kidney. And I'll put a tomato in the eggs. And I normally add a bit of cheese. That's my breakfast. My lunch is just meat with kidney beans. That's what it is. It was always meat with kidney beans. So it could be chicken thigh with kidney beans, it could be steak with kidney beans, it could be ground beef with kidney beans. It was always meat with kidney beans. It was just that simple. I liked it because it took me like 10 minutes to prepare. And then normally I go to the gym in the evening, like from 6 p.m. until 8 p.m. So I'll have like a light meal before gym. At first I used to have oats, and in those oats I would add blueberries, bananas, and macadamia nuts. I've since cut out oats, so now I just have Greek yogurt with blueberries, bananas, and macadamia nuts. Like I just swapped out the oats for the yogurt. Then after gym for dinner, I normally have what was made for dinner. So that's normally rice. It's always white rice. I don't really like brown rice. So it's white rice with meat and vegetables. Those vegetables, it could be broccoli, it could be spinach, it could be cauliflower. It just depends what vegetables are there for the day. And that's pretty much my eating for the day. I don't have any snacks in between. I don't snack. I don't know why. I just don't snack. But that's my eating for the day. You can try copy it, or you can just try take inspiration and formulate your own diet. I didn't go that much in depth on as to what exactly you should eat because it's different for everyone. Everyone has a different body that needs different nutrients. So yeah, you do you.